like that. Woo!
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle.
And it's your co-host that does it the most. It's your boy at Rick Masters 23 or Mr. Lee on IG. Man, y'all already know what time it is. You see the sign in the back of my screen. You see the sweater on B Jizzle, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Hey, man, get y'all some merch. Y'all already know what the deal is. The white, the red, the black. We got the hoodies, all that good stuff, man. Just hit us up in our DMs. Yo, also, if y'all want questions answered, yo, go ahead and leave a tag like Mr. Allen NG. Salutations, my good people. Salutations to you, Mr. Allen NG. We always appreciate the love, brother. As you can see, Mr. Allen as the example. We see it super fast when you put it up there. Or, hey, man, loyalty badge, Clippers badge, or interviews badge. It's your choice. Just know that with the interviews badge, you get to ask them questions to great people that we had on the show, man. Also, if you get the Clippers badge, you know BJ, he be doing that Clippers talk. So all my Clipper fans out there, he be bringing it in for you. And then, you know, the loyalty badge, man, don't be missing out on these great end of the month contests that we be having. We give out those free prizes. We show you the love. Man, we appreciate y'all so much. But B Jizz, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Like my boy said, you go and get your membership badges that are available, the pull-up badge, the Clipper badge, and the interview badge. They all have perks. If you guys have not already checked them out, go onto our YouTube page. They'll firmly explain every single detail in its entirety to know how to get your badges today, as well as if you guys love this content that we're about to drop tonight or today, go and hit that Cash App, which is $ BJ Matthews. Again, $ BJ Matthews for our Cash App for all the information that we have dropping for y'all. We had a great show yesterday. If you guys did not check it out, go into our lives. I know we do the lives a little bit early on Saturdays, so I'm going to try to push it back a little bit later so people have a chance to get up in the morning. You might be going out the night before or this, that, and the other. So we're going to try to push that time back so we get more and more people into the chat live instantly. But until then, hit the like button. It's free. Wipe your feet before you enter this house. Let's get it popping. Rick, we're going to have a little bit of continuation from what we had the previous week on Wednesday. And we were talking about the new rule that was implemented to the NBA was called the load management rule. Now, we talked about the Clippers on the LA Clipper Talk on Wednesday, and this was Rick's idea, you know what I'm saying? So he gets the credit for this one. He said we should do a little bit of a continuation of how it's going to not just affect the Clippers, but the entire NBA league. And does it not only affect it in a good way or a bad way? I'm going to ask Rick for his opening thoughts about what he thinks about the rule. He's going to give it right back to me. We're going to go, a little bit back and forth, and then we're going to let y'all in. But Rick, go give me a quick rundown what you think about this rule.
Man, so of course, when I first heard it, I said a good step in the right direction, right? And I wasn't even just thinking about the Clippers, like you said, BJ. You and the guys talked about that on Wednesday. I was thinking more of the whole league. What would this do for the whole league? Because here's the thing: even through history, before it became a real, actual problem, we've seen load management before, right? We've seen, the San Antonio Spurs, right? Getting them ready for the playoffs. We've seen LeBron sit out some games during the season for pivotal games in the playoffs, right? And I don't think that was necessarily a big deal to most of us because it's like, yeah, you want your best players to be ready for the most crucial moments. At least most of us didn't mind, right? Because that would make sense, especially if they're the main people. But then it just started getting out of control, as we can see. And so I think this is a good step in the right direction. My first thought was, okay, now obviously, and BJ, you kind of spoke on this as well. Obviously, it's going to take a little time for this to set in because look, let's say, some owners, right? They got the money and they got the time. And if they like their players, that ain't going to really affect too much, right? But then you got some owners where it's like, I'm not paying you no extra 10 million because, when it gets to the third strike, they start paying in the millions then. So the first one's 100,000, the second strike's 250,000, the third is $1 million. So it's gonna be some owners like, look, I'm already paying you 25, 30 million. You gonna go play. And of course, if you get into that whole situation with a player where it's like, well, my knee still hurt, my back still hurt, my foot still hurt, it don't matter. it's gonna get to a point to where it's gonna kind of put heat under them, and it's like, you know what, just go ahead and trade me. And this is where I come in and say I like this, because now if you got a kind of player, and it could be anybody, and I think when I was doing the research there, BJ, on that same report you had up, it said considered a superstar, you have to be within the last 3 years all-star selection, or what was it? It was like first all-star selection,
All
or
NBA team, yeah. So all NBA team or All Star, yes, sir.
So it's like now when these players get to a point to where, because we already know some of them kind of got like an entitlement aspect to them. So now when they like, you know what, I ain't got to stay here. And you know what I was thinking? Great. Go somewhere else so we can spread this superstardom across the league and we can have a more competitive league. Because I'm tired since 2010, BJ. I am tired of seeing superstars in their prime, because I know some people gonna be like, well, they were superstars back in the day. Yeah, when they were fucking old. All right, I'm sorry for cussing. I'm tired of hearing that. When they were old, they ain't doing nothing for that team. I'm talking about in their prime, ready to play. I want to see a competitive league. Okay, I'm one of those old school fans. I want to see people go against each other. So this is a little gateway. I'm not saying it's gonna change overnight, but this is a little gateway where it's gonna start, where the players who want to fight the owners and say, hey man, you ain't gotta stay here. Go over there. Ain't no superstars over there in Charlotte. Go over there and play. Ain't no superstars over there in Miami. Go over there and play. You see what, now we starting to spread them out. Now the NBA back to where I like it. And we fixing LeBron start up. So I'm ready for it, BJ. That was my first thoughts.
I mean, let me piggyback off that as y'all come in here, hit the like button as y'all come in here. So, Rick, great opening thoughts. So, when I first saw the rule, I said, okay, here comes more stipulation, here comes more guidelines, here comes more restraints within the league. And like we just talked about, like I told you before we started the show, anytime you have a rule like this and that you're trying to start it up, you're going to have to actually think, okay, well, there's going to be some pushback. There's going to be anything that you bring in new, or some new rules that you bring in, you're going to have some pushback from whether it's your employees, whether it's the players, whether it's the owners. You're going to have some type of, okay, that rule is a little bit extreme. So if you look through the NBA and the rules, like you just said, the new load management rule basically prevents two players, the main aspect, they prevent two players from sitting out in a game, right? You cannot have two All-Stars or two All-NBA players within the last 3 years sit out. So, for example, Kawhi and Paul George cannot sit out for load management for any reason at the same time. If you got Kawhi Leonard out, Paul George must play. If Paul George is out, Kawhi Leonard must play. From LeBron to Anthony Davis to let me see, who else is two All-Stars in the league? Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton. There's like a whole list of teams with All-Stars and All-NBA players within the last 3 years that they have these rules that you cannot sit out for sit them out at the same time for any reason. And what's crazy about this rule is it applies to the players that do not meet the criteria of what they call the 35-year-old and up rule, and over 10,000 games, I think, or 1,000 games. LeBron James is one of the few that actually meets that criteria where he's exempt from the rules. There's always an exception to rules that you guys have out for, guidelines and things of that nature. So I said, okay, well, what's the catch? Sorry, what's the catch to this? And when I seen LeBron James gets a pass for, being exempt for the rule, I'm like, okay, part of me was like, okay, this might be a way for LeBron James to get the upper hand. But at the other part of it is like, okay, well, this man has played for going on 21 years. At some point, you got to take a little bit of, a step back from what he, what he has done. So me personally, I think the rule will bring back the competitive balance, but I also know there's going to be a lot of pushback, with this rule. I'm interested to see what happens. So, Rick, what are your worries and concerns about what they're doing with this rule? What is your concerns about this?
Salute, Mingle, salute. Mostly, here's the thing, and salute everybody that's just coming in, by the way. Salute Samika, salute Alan. You know what I'm saying? Alex, salute y'all. I see y'all. But yeah, man, here's the thing. The reason why I keep saying, quote unquote, it's a gateway to competitiveness is because, BJ, you just touched on it. Because these players since 2010, so like I said, relevant superstars. I don't want to hear about no old people. relevant dudes who are ready to play ball today, all right, getting together on these teams since 2010, you have to think, yeah, there's this vibe, there's this environment, there's this energy bubble of, I want to win these championships in an easier way. I'm trying to say it in a way to where it makes sense, because here's the thing. It's the reason why the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat, to a lot of people, a lot of fans across the world, felt so good, because you knew it was like the Denver Nuggets. We saw their ups and downs for 7-8 years now. We saw their superstar players getting hurt. They did it organically. They drafted people. Joker was getting better over time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you seen that team get better over time. You seen that team go up and down, right? So it felt refreshing to see them win. It felt refreshing to see them fight for it and stick together, right? And then Miami, oh my God, that was a story within itself too, on the East side, because it's like, you play the number one Bucks in the playoffs, right? And to this day, I'm still embarrassed for Giannis, man. I'm like, yo, like, what happened? And I'm gonna tell you what happened. Jimmy and them boys just wanted it more. And that's the beautiful thing about basketball. Just because you got a number beside your conference and your name and your city don't mean nothing when it comes to the game of basketball. It's whoever wants it more. And so when you see that competitive nature, man, and you see those teams end up in the finals and they fight hard like they did, that was reminiscent of how it used to be. It's like, man, so I say all that to say, when you imply this new rule, now when these players who are like, I'm trying to join KD, I'm trying to join Kyrie, I'm trying to join LeBron, I'm trying to draw all these superstars. Check it out. Now, one of y'all or two of y'all gonna have to play. Y'all can't be sitting down. These fans paying hard-earned money, so somebody gonna have to pay. And BJ, what it also does is that it puts more of the ball on the owner's side of, like, it puts more control over the owners too. So now the players ain't got to go to the commissioner because the rule's already out. So now the players got to go to the owner. Why do I say that? Because the owner going to be getting fined. So it puts the ball in their court. And it's like, look, is Kawhi worth the extra 5-8 million? Is LeBron worth the extra 10-15 million? And this is out of pocket money. This ain't in their contract. Is Chris Paul, Steph Curry, are they worth the extra 5-8 million to sit them down? And so now that's either going to be a yes type of response, or it's going to be, no, you going to look, man, you got a sprained ankle, get out there and play. And then the minute that, like you said, BJ, the minute they start going back and forth and arguing all that, what's going to happen next? Well, look, I'm going to opt out, or I'm going to go somewhere else. Whoop-de-doo. That's fine. As a fan, that's what I've been wanting for the last 13 years. That's okay with me. Take your superstardom talents over here to this weak franchise that needs some help, and let's make this NBA more competitive again, so I can see the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat play every night when I turn on the NBA. I'm tired of watching the NBA and knowing who pretty much going to win, or who's going to the conference finals, or who's going to – I'm just tired of that, man. Like, I want to be surprised like the NFL. I don't want to know who's going to go to the finals. I want this to be a fun, exciting playoff. So I think that's how it's going to play out, BJ. That's just my opinion.
Right on. As y'all come in here, hit the like button. Salute to Mingo Jester. Salute to Mrs. Tay for the $9.99 donation. She's been a member for 3 months with the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, so definitely one of the most faithful ones with us. But if you guys, again, want to sign up and get your pull-up badges or get your membership badges, please hit that join button right on the top of the screen. You guys can go ahead and be a member today for the rest of your life. A lot of great perks coming from the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. So definitely thanks, Miss Tay, for the $9.99 donation for that. And I want to kind of get into a few things I got into on Wednesday, bro, before we let people in. So as you look around the league, I'm gonna read off the players, some of the star players who played a certain amount of games, how many games they played. So let's go with Steph Curry. Steph Curry played 56 games last season. A large due to that was injury. Some of it was load management. But throughout the year, Steph Curry, even when he first came into the league, dealt with a lot of ankle issues. If you look through Steph Curry's career, he's a player that's had, time out for a whole season, time missed here and there, not playing a whole lot of games, but being ready for the playoffs pretty much. But I just want to kind of highlight how all the players in the NBA, there's a lot of load management problems. Steph Curry, 56 games. Paul George, 56 games, dealt with injury. especially with that nasty hyperextended knee towards the end of the season. Kawhi Leonard, we already know what he is. He played 52 games, but the thing about Kawhi Leonard was really impressive is he would come off a torn ACL. There was a part of the season last year where Kawhi Leonard was probably the best player in the NBA. So you coming off a torn ACL is actually impressive of what he was able to do and accomplish towards the end of that run. And of course, he went down with the torn meniscus in the playoffs. Devin Booker played 53 games last year. A lot of people don't talk about Devin Booker being hurt the last couple of years with quad issues and lower leg issues, but he has dealt with, some injury. So Devin Booker, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, 55 games. So what I'm doing is I'm highlighting the fact that this is just not with the Clippers. It's actually an NBA problem that a lot of guys are sitting out for load management. A lot of guys are not able to play a full entire season. Them days of playing 70, 75 games for a season, those games are pretty much done. Like, I looked throughout the whole year this year, I think only one player played around that time. That was Jason Tatum. Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think he played 64 games. So the fact that these players are playing less and less time, it is taken away from the revenue of the NBA because they want to see you play. I go to a Clipper game, I want to see Kawhi Leonard and PG play. No disrespect to the other guys. I want to see the stars play. And what's frustrating with the Clippers is there were times that you wouldn't know that they weren't playing until like right at the start of the game after you bought your tickets. Now that to me is messed up because you already bought tickets, and if I go to a game and the stars ain't playing, I already paid all this money, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad as hell because it's like you're trying to sell me something that's not even there. So I can see at this point the NBA is looking like we got to do something, or else we're gonna lose fans and lose the fan base, and we're gonna lose revenue, merchandise sales, jersey sales, all that in the whole one. We're gonna start losing that. So let me go through a few stipulations how this thing is gonna work, and then we're gonna let people in. Because I did take the liberty of looking at some of this information. So starting from the top, applying to this whole low management rule. If you guys can see from the top, it says teams cannot rest more than one star player for the same game, which you just mentioned. So two all-star players cannot rest at the same time. Another stipulation says a star player is defined as having been an all-star or an all-NBA player in the previous 3 seasons. So if you made an all-star team, if you made an all-NBA team within the last 3 seasons of any level, you are applied to this rule. You're considered a star player. So they're really trying to hammer down and lower the amount of players who are able to, just be sitting out. They're trying to bring as many of the star players together as possible. So let's go through a couple more stipulations. It says healthy star players cannot sit out a nationally televised game and any in-season tournament game. So right there, that tells me it's a money thing, because if you look at the NBA and you look at national televised games on ABC, ESPN, NBC, TNT, TBS, whatever, those are the games that, get the most revenue. Those are the games that are marquee matchups. Those are the games with the TV deals. You cannot sit out those games for any reason at all. That right there is like telling you, okay, this is a money thing. We're losing money when our star players aren't hooping on the court. Let's go to the next stipulation. It says right here, any star player being rested must be in the arena and visible to fans. So what that's telling me is the NBA is looking at it like, okay, you can say that you out for a certain period of time, but we need to make sure you're there for work. It's kind of like if you call in sick, they say, okay, well, they can't tell you to come to work, but I'm pretty sure these big companies looking at it like, yo, are you really sick? Or are you just trying to get off because you stayed up late all last night before, you just don't want to come in? So this right here shows to me they're trying to make sure they're trying to, hammer down the fact that they don't want players just to be sitting at home doing nothing, and they don't actually able to see, okay, what is this player actually doing? So they say they must be visible at all times. That's why I said it's going to be very, very, it's going to be a process to adjust to this, because this is all new. You're telling players who've been able to kind of like move how they want to move, they got to be visible in the arena at all times. It's going to be something where it's going to be some pushback, and it's going to be a process. But as far as what you said with the competitive edge, bro, I think I definitely agree that at some point something got to give. nothing's bigger than the product. Nothing's bigger than what the fans bring to the NBA, because without the fans, there is no NBA. So is it worth losing a good portion of fans because of the players' feelings or how they feel? Or you're going to appease to the players' feelings and still, lose the trust of the fans? That's kind of what the push back, the pull and tug is. So I just wanted to add that little sample to it.
But like any company, BJ, not just the NBA, it's always about the clientele. So the fans are the clientele of the NBA, right? That's marketing 101. How do we get the money out of the client's pockets? That's every accountant, every business proposition, every CEO meeting. How can we upsell revenues, right? It doesn't matter what field you're in, and the fans are the clientele. So yes, I am happy that they're finally putting in these laws and these rules where it's like you are starting to show love towards the fans, because they're the ones that give you these checks, NBA players. Like, you got to understand, if nobody's watching the NBA, if nobody's tuning in, signing up for these NBA season packages, if nobody's buying merchandise, these are all the fans. So I am just happy that finally they got something going. And BJ, like you said, it may take a little time, but I love how they put this into the owner's hand. Because again, let's just look at it this way. When you had Pop, he with the San Antonio Spurs, maybe he doesn't mind coming out an extra $10 or $15 million. Why? Because he's trying to win a championship. And even the San Antonio Spurs back then would even understand that. It's like, okay, we know that, Tony Parker and them boys and Tim Duncan and them and Ginobili starting to get up there. So yeah, they kind of understand that situation. And you know what? If I got to get charged the extra 15 or 10 million for all the games they missing, that's fine, as long as we holding up that Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the year. That's okay. We see why even LeBron's pretty much your main guy back in them Cleveland days, right? He was your main guy back in the Miami days. That's fine. People like we got common sense. We know what you're doing. We see what you're doing. A lot of people across the league ain't gonna trip on that. But again, when you've been in the league 5 years, 4 years, you're 22, 23 years old, 25 years old, and you just like, I just don't feel like playing today. And you ain't that close. You ain't won no championships for us. You ain't made it to no finals. You ain't made it to no conference finals. And you got, you've been an all-star for the last 3 years or within those 3 years. And you think I'm just going to sit out just because, I'm averaging 30 points. No, you finna go play. That's what you about to do. And then if you get an attitude and the NBA's charging me all this money, then we're going to start thinking about a trade package. See, now it's putting that pressure on the owners. It's putting the pressure on the teams. And so no matter, what I'm saying, what's up, Bruce said I look like Lincoln. Hey, Bruce said, Rick got the Lincoln look. I salute, man, throwing the Jones in the chat. Hey, you know what I'm saying? 2 scores ago. But anyway, basically it throws more of the onus on the owners. But then on top of that, even if some of these newer players or players who've been in not as long as LeBron, the exceptions, not as long as LeBron or some of these older guys, it's one of those things where it's like, look, you ain't happy here. We got a nice little package for you. And we can move you over here and get some more pieces for this superstar that actually plays. So then over time, I think we're going to see like, all right, y'all ain't happy. Let's move you over here. You ain't happy. Let's move you over there. And before you know it, about another good decade, now we ain't got 10, 3, 4, 5 superstars on one team. Now each market has a superstar on it. And we back to where we used to start, babe, back in the 90s, early 2000s. And I'm ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm in my 40s, BJ, I don't want to see 3 superstars on the same damn team.
I want to see 3 superstars now.
Yeah.
But that's the era we in. Thanks to somebody. But hey, let's go and go on a little commercial break, man. 2-minute break, man. Then we're gonna come back, let the people in. And let me see what y'all got to say about this. Y'all think this load management rule is going to be effective? Do y'all think it's going to actually hurt the NBA? It's going to hurt the competition? Let me hear what y'all got to say in about 2 minutes, and we're going to be right back to it. All right. All right, y'all. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that Cash App for this great content that we're dropping for y'all, me and Rick. So make sure that you guys are locked in. We got Mingo Justin in the building. Mingo, what's good, bro?
Salute, Mingle.
What's going on? Salute, y'all. See, this moment to think about the whole load managing thing. What about the rules that they got set for the players? That's a certain age, and played a certain amount of years. Like, say for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. Say for instance, let's take Chris Paul and Stephen Curry for example. They both qualify for this rule I'm talking about. When they play over a certain amount of years, they got a certain amount of stats, all that good stuff. LeBron is that rule, and there's a lot of other guys. How does that work? Like, how would they do that? Like, say for instance, Steph Curry and Chris Paul decide to sit out one game. How do they? I mean, and they qualify for that rule. So how does that work?
So the way I'll respond to that is that, again, it goes back to are they worth it, right? So you brought up two good names. I think Steph Curry's worth it. I think Chris Paul is worth it. He went to the finals. What year was that? 2021?
Yeah.
That was 2021, right? So, I mean, to me as an owner, I'm okay with dishing out some money, right? Because you've proven yourself. Because remember, in my soliloquy, I said, look, it ain't like some of these players that take you to the finals, take you to the conference finals. So when you talk about Curry and you talk about a Chris Paul, as an owner, I'm putting myself in that position. I dish out some more money for them too. I don't mind that. I won't really argue with them. If they really hurt, if they sick, and those guys, we know they like to play basketball too. So we know they're not hiding and they're not trying to play. So as an owner, I would be like, for those two, I'm cool with that. That's how I respond to that. I think as an owner, they wouldn't mind that.
No, but see, my point was that they wouldn't be fine for those guys because they exempt because of their age and the amount of games they played and their stats and all that stuff. Those players would be exempt, like a Steph Curry and a Chris Paul, LeBron James. Those players are exempt. Now, some of the other guys like Jason Tatum and all them, they not exempt. KD probably be one of them that's exempt. But far as like it overall, I agree with what y'all was saying. I agree with it. I think that these players should play more games and not sit out and low manage and trying to prepare for the playoffs and all this and that. Cause like you said, without the fans, there's no NBA. And the NBA pay their money to see the star players, not a bunch of role guys that they really don't recognize. They play to see LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, those guys. They pay to see these guys play. And that may be the only chance to get to see these guys play. And they miss that chance because these guys are low managers.
Absolutely.
So now what?
And so here's the thing. Now I'm gonna flip it to BJ before we go to Eleazy. Now, BJ, let me ask you this, kind of just piggybacking off what Mingle is saying. I know the Clippers, that's your team. So with the same question, as a fan, how do you feel if PG and Kawhi, they like, hey, my knee hurt, my ankle hurt, and they sit out for like 15 games? Like, how does that person make you feel?
So this is a two-sided response for me. So from a player standpoint, I understand the grind of an NBA, not an NBA season, but an actual season, like playing 30, 32 games. Playing 82 games, I think people got to understand, like, when you play basketball, any type of impact sport, what you do on the court or on the field is actually going against the human body. All the wear and tear, all the pounding, all the, you know what I'm saying? So I see when players be like, yo, y'all think this is just us, we just robots, we just go out here and play every game and all this stuff, and like that's just it. I feel that side. But then at the end of the game, like 15 games, I mean, you have the summer to prepare, you have the best, you know what I'm saying, medicine that's out today. And I look at the older era, they weren't getting as hurt and they weren't staying off of low management as much without less medicine. So I think some of it's mental. Some of it, if you think you hurt, if you think you can't play, then you're going to have that mindset, okay, I can't go. But if you have the mindset like a Westbrook or somebody who's very durable, and they notice when they play, they actually more durable on the court, that to me, that's why I say it becomes a mind thing. So if Kawhi and PG say I'm not playing for 15 games, just tell the fans before. Don't tell us like right when we get to the arena. Announce that shit like days ahead or games ahead. Don't announce that right at the. That's my thing with the Clippers. They wait until the game up, that game day after people bought their tickets and say, "Oh, Kawhi and PG ain't playing." I'm like, that's bullshit. Tell us like days before. Like we understand that people get injured. We never said people need rest. But don't put the fans in a position where they spend their money and then they're not gonna see their favorite player play. So, yeah, that's a good question though, bro. Lazy, what's good, bro?
What's good with y'all, man? How y'all doing?
What's good? Salute, dog.
Man, I don't. What's that, amigo? Hey,
What's happening?
This shit right here, bro. I know it's gonna get everybody hopes up, though, bro. But it's really not on. You know what I'm saying? The commissioner and all these different rules, because there's always a way. You know what I'm saying? And loopholes to any rules, to any stipulation that's set in place, no matter what we talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is just another situation to where it gives people false hope, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, like Mingo, to his point, the older guys who 35 and up and who accumulated and played all of these minutes, you know what I'm saying, in previous years, they're exempt. They get like an exception to the rule. So wait a minute. How they get an exception to the rule, but I'm really injured over here. Like I'm really hurt. So they get to say that you know what I'm saying? They get the rest one night, but a guy, you know what I'm saying, over here who's probably younger, he's really injured. But I gotta like force myself to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can't really prove that somebody's injured, and we already know that these doctors and everything can say one thing and then the team doctors can say another thing. We've seen that happen with Kawhi Leonard in San Antonio. He went to his personal doctor, but the team doctor, there was a disagreement. Like there was a discrepancy on that side. Like, you know what I'm saying? Pop wanted him to play. He was like, wait a minute, I'm not ready to play. You know what I'm saying? I'm not healed. So and to your point, BJ, about the mentality, because back in the day, sports medicine wasn't as advanced as it is now. And then it's the mentality. Like, do you guys want to compete? Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the biggest stage, you know what I'm saying, of them all. You didn't play AAU, you didn't play for your school, you know what I'm saying? You didn't play in various leagues in the summer or what have you. You didn't play at your local, you know what I'm saying, sports fitness, you know what I'm saying, facilities and all of that. At what point do you be like, man, I want to win, I want to compete? Like, you know what I'm saying? So even if you do have these guys that is going to play, but they feel like they should rest, how much effort are they really going to give? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are they going to hustle? Are they going to get back on D? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to sprint? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to give maximum effort, or are you going to like coast your way and find, you know what I'm saying, time in the game to like rest? You see what I'm saying? We didn't have that with Kobe, Jordan, Allen Iverson. The list goes on, and even further back before those guys' era. You know what I'm saying? These guys had flat shoes. There were no AC in a lot of these buildings. You know what I'm saying? The floor was straight hard, where there was no springs in the floor. You know what I'm saying? All these different type of things, bro. So now you got to question the mentality. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like the AAU is setting this up. They're playing too much basketball.
Right.
So of course your body is going to break down. That's just how, you know what I'm saying, human anatomy. That's how that works. Your body is going to break down when it overexhausts itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but that's why I give, kudos to Steph Curry, because we see Steph Curry works hard. All that running around that he does, you know what I'm saying? He's available, you know what I'm saying, almost every game, unless we see his ankle or something, you know what I'm saying, get rolled up on. We know he has fragile ankles. So other than that, he's out there every game. But then again, he also goes along with, the load managing when he feel like my team isn't good enough or whatever. And Steve Kerr, they'll try to take this time to look at other lineups and other guys. So it's all really on the mentality, bro. Like, these dudes aren't built, like, they're just not built the same, bro. Like, I I would love to play. Like, you can pay me, you know what I'm saying, 100, 200,000. Nigga, I'll play every game, bro. And look, the league already said no more back to backs. Nigga, back in the day, they played 3-4 games in a row, bro. 2-3 different cities. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what that does to the body? The travel, you know what I'm saying? Get on a plane and going to a different time zone and this and that. Traveling all them different miles and not being able to sleep comfortably. You know what I'm saying? Having to wake up for, you know what I'm saying? Have 2 days, practices, and all this stuff. Come on. Like, what are we talking about? So, just because David Stern, you know what I'm saying, puts this in there, that's sometimes I feel like, okay, he's just doing that so everybody will shut the fuck up about it. You know what I'm saying? People are still gonna abuse it. Watch, I guarantee you people gonna be like, oh, I got a strain groin tonight, I can't go. But then the next night, I'm dunking on niggas from the free throw line. Like, I thought that was wrong. Don't even make no sense, bro.
But here's my thing. Eleazy, and good take, man. But this is why I said the only way, and Eleazy, you made a perfect point. Like, there's always an exception to the rule. BJ spoke on it. I like that he spoke on both sides as a player, as a fan, and also just a shout out to Mingo. Like, what about the older guys? But then Eleazy, good point. What about the younger guys who are really hurt? Again, it goes back to what I initially said. Are they worth it? What's the relationship between the owner and those players? Because again, I'm gonna tell you right now, we could bring it back to just regular 9-to-5ers. You got some people at work where the bosses and managers know this is a hard worker. So when they call in or when they're going to be late or whatever the case may be, they usually get a different treatment than a person who's just slacking and don't do nothing for the team, right? So I can use myself as an example. I rarely miss work. I go to work when I'm sick, sniffling, all kind. Like, I have my manager say, Rick, just go home. Just go home. Because they know I'm not playing. But then you may have some people they'll talk about and they'll be like, nah, you go ahead and come in. Because they watching you, right? And I think it's the same thing in the NBA. It's like, yeah, if a younger guy's really hurt and if they implement this rule and stick to it, I don't mind. If I'm an owner, I don't mind taking your back. I don't mind. If I got to pay $10 million, that's fine. It's the principle. If you're really hurt, if you're really sick and you need to heal up and this rule stipulation is causing me money and the relationship I have with you as an owner player, I'm like, Kawhi Leonard is a perfect example. We know he got bad knees. So I'm not going to come at him like a person that just got on the team and he trying to just sit out or whatever. No, I'm be like, yo, Kawhi, don't worry about what the news is saying. Don't worry about what everybody is. Hey, man, I'll pay that $15 million for you. Just get your knees right, get your back, whatever you got to do, bro. Get your mind right, and let's get ready for these playoffs. That's what I would tell him as an owner. But then if I got a cat that just came in 2 years ago, and person stuff off the TV, we know he like going to the clubs, he like drinking, he don't work out with us. As an owner, I'm gonna say, look here, Jamal, look, you had a wonderful college year. You did good, but now you're with the Hornets, brother, and we need you to have them college years in the NBA. So either you get your act together, you quit going out late, start going to bed on time, because I'm tired of paying $1 million for you. So I give them a chance. But after a while, they're going to start seeing that this ain't no joke. We need you to play. We need you to be available. So that's what I kept, pointing at with this is going to come down to the onus on the owners. It's like they got to know their players. They got to know their roster. Like this guy, he has a serious issue. Like his knees are really, torn up. His body is really banged up. I don't mind dishing out $10 million for him. He's proven himself. He got us far into the playoffs. I don't mind throwing that money at him. But when you got a guy that he bull crapping, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get this trade package ready for you because I don't think you want to play with us. And that's fine. And that's how I would go about it. But like you said, Eleazy, they have to stick to this rule. That's the only way it's going to work. And the owners got to flex their balls. They got to really have some balls on this.
Yeah. I forgot to mention about the money aspect. These owners are gazillionaires, bro. They don't give a fuck about that money. They'll give that money because they know they're going to make it back the next night on a TV deal in a marquee matchup. Like, you know what I'm saying? They make so much money, bro, in TV deals, bro. Like you mentioned earlier about, all the different networks. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. And they just signed a new deal with the new CBA and everything, bro. They making so much goddamn money. They'll be like, man, I ain't tripping off of this bread. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, pay attention to the San Antonio Spurs and how motherfucking the person who started all this fucking load management shit. Pay attention to how he treats Victor Wembanyama. So we're gonna see how he, you know what I'm saying, brings him along.
That's a good, you know what? That's a good talking point. But here's the thing though, even with Victor, now remember before Victor came, and BJ, you can, anybody on the panel can correct me, wasn't Pop thinking about leaving before Victor showed up?
No, I think he never thought about leaving, bro. That's all media. That's all media play. They knew they gave that man a number one pick. If you peep, San Antonio was competitive the last 2 years, like in the first month and a half of the season, they were real competitive, like teetering around 500. Then all of a sudden they start losing on purpose. They wasn't as competitive. I'm like, how y'all go from being competitive with the roster that you had to now all of a sudden y'all not competitive? Because they promised them, okay, you're gonna get the number one pick, Pop. And it just so happened to be somebody from France. Tony Parker correlation, you know what I'm saying, to Victor Wembanyama. Come on, man. All this shit be all already set up like that.
So basically you gave Pop hope again, right? He's rejuvenated, right?
And so, all of a sudden he's rejuvenated. Come on,
man. Because he's coaching great players.
Nah, I don't think he's rejuvenated. You still got to put a team around Victor, though.
You do.
So, we already know one player can't do it by themselves. We done seen it with LeBron and Kobe and all these guys. We done seen it already. Still got to put a team around him.
You're right. I'm not even, both of y'all are right. Here's what I'm getting at, though. But see, Pop has confidence in himself. All he needs is a good player, and he knows how to coach. Basically, he's done this before, right? So when you get a top aspect like Victor, we don't know what he can do. He hasn't been in the league that long, but you give him something like that. Now he has time to get some pieces together. You still got the alumni. You see what I'm saying? You still got Tim Duncan and them in the background. So now what I mean by rejuvenation is like, okay, maybe I could work with something here. And even with Victor, you know what I'm saying? Like if Victor like, yo, my knees, my shin, whatever, I think he's going to be a little bit more back offish in a sense. If he's really hurt or if something's going on, he'll take the media blow like he did for the rest of them boys back in the day. But more so, I think this is going to help overall. But if the owners really stick to it, because like I said, your management, the people above you, they know you. They talk to you. They see what you do. They see the hard work that you do. So if your work, if your ethic really shows there, I feel like they don't mind taking a hit. That's not going to bother them. It ain't going to even affect them. They're going to look out for you. But if they know you one of them guys that just bull crap all the time, then it's like, okay, we trying to win. You obviously not trying to win. So we're going to go ahead and set up a package for you so we can get more pieces in here. Because Elise, you're right. To these billionaires, it don't matter. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, they know more money comes in if they win in championships or getting far into the playoffs. But we can't even do that because you don't want to play. So how about we keep this guy who wants to play and get your money out of here so we can have more money and get pieces around this guy. So I think it makes the owners have more strategic planning when it comes to certain players. If they
but I already think a lot of these guys gonna play more games anyway. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of these awards. Remember, the new CBA got where these guys have to play 65 games or more to qualify for these awards now. So with that being said, I think a lot of these guys gonna try to play if they want to get these, these awards that they like, these first teams and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to play more games regardless. They're gonna at least 65. So with that being said, also, what about guys that like how do they treat rookies? Like say for instance, a rookie came in injured or something like that. How would they treat him? How would they handle his situation?
Got you. So here's what I'm saying. If we stick it to the rules, right, that they just implemented. Let's say a rookie comes in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna think of a person like Zion.
Steph Curry came in injured. Steph Curry.
Okay, Steph Curry comes in injured, but he's promising, right? As an owner, as a coach, like all the people on the other side, his bosses, right? As those people, if we're looking at him every day and we see his work ethic, like Elise say, he always running, he always staying in shape, he always pushing himself, even though he's hurt. He's always getting at it. We're like, you know what? If we stick to this rule, it's like me as a coach or owner, I'll be like, look, man, we're going to take the bat for him because he's always in here. He's always on time. He's always staying after practice. He's pushing himself. Honestly, as management, I'm going to fight for that guy. That's what I'm getting at. Even if you're a rookie, I'm gonna fight for that dude. But what I'm saying is, if I'm over you and I see you have no work ethic and you being lazy and you trying to take a shortcut, that's where I'm gonna start getting grimy. I'm gonna start playing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
See, y'all making good points, but I'm thinking like, how are they gonna treat the guys like Zion's who have a history of staying out, but he's not old enough quite yet to actually be exempt from the rule. So players like that who you've seen in the past who've been dealing with weight issues and injury issues, leg issues, all that stuff, how is it going to affect players like that going into this upcoming season? Do you still, if you're an owner, do you still like pay the fines? Because there's going to be games Zion going to have to sit out unless this dude gets himself in shape to the point where, you know, load management won't be an issue. When do you draw the line with you know, paying for players playing? I know Rick briefly explained it, but a guy like Zion, how would you treat something like that?
It's how much it's to me, it's simple. It's how much faith you have in the player, right? If you know when Zion's at his greatest, you know he's going to make a big difference. I like Elise. I don't think the money matters because I know I'm gonna get it back. I know once you're at 100% or once mentally or physically you feeling better, I'm gonna make all that money back. I'm not even tripping because it's like an investment, right? It's like I may be putting out now, but I know at the end of it, I'm gonna get a big return. So that's how I look at it business wise. So it's like, yo, if you one of these top guys that I know you pretty much a killer in the league when you at your best, I'm gonna pay that money because I'm gonna get it straight back. I'm not even worried about it. But if you like I said, if you one of them players who you ain't making no difference, no way, and you acting like you one of the top guys, yeah, we're gonna have a different discussion. I'm gonna give you chances, but we're gonna have a different discussion.
Yeah. And going back to relationships. Hey, what's good, Bruce? What's up with you, man?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Everybody in the panel, hope you guys are good.
Happening.
Salute, bro.
What you got?
I don't think there's gonna be much difference. I already see loopholes on it. Loopholes on the role, quote unquote, new load management role. Even if you're not 35 or over or older, there's like you can ask the league like a week in advance for a back-to-back if you had prior injury. So you already know Kawhi, AD, you know, prior injuries. So I mean, is it prior injury during this season or prior injury in the career? So I think we're probably gonna see less sitting down, but because there's gonna be so much investigations and stuff. I know you guys said that. How will the NBA know if a player is injured? So I don't know. Are they gonna have snitches in the team's locker room? I mean, are they gonna try to have insiders? So we'll see. I'm hoping that I want to see better basketball because load management has impacted the quality of basketball to me, and I cannot keep on watching bad products. You know, I don't want to see. Sorry, Rick. I don't want to see Denver and Miami. No, that was terrible.
I mean, I think what I was trying to allude to is that, you know, these guys, regardless of if you like them or not, they stuck in there, you know. So it's fair. Like I was told you earlier, it's fair if you don't want to see Denver, Miami. But I think the point is that they actually hung in there until they got to the finals. They played ball, hurt and all.
I think it comes down to, and this is I'm a question for anybody can answer. How bad do these stars want to play? Do you want to play? I believe Kawhi wants to play. I think PG wants to play. Me just knowing, you know, them and their back, I think they want to be out there hooping. Like, you don't miss that amount of time and say, I don't want to play no more. Like, you've been sitting out long enough. You eager to get back out there and hoop. So I got to ask, like, to y'all can ask me, how bad do y'all think these star players want to actually be on the court?
I don't know. Everything is a business now. I don't know if they'll still
Right.
love the game.
Yeah,
I
everything is
saw
a
Kawhi
business.
at the Colorado State last night. So he looks healthy to me. So we'll see.
he was running.
Yeah.
He was running sprints last night.
I mean, he was happy. He was jumping, you know, with I saw Kyle Lowry, you know, and Kawhi at the game last. So
Yeah.
But you know, another thing that I forgot to mention. Seems like I keep forgetting to mention stuff. It just keep coming to me though. The sports betting has kind of fucked it up too. The betting, a lot of these games, bro, all of it dictates like as far as like the money that's being wagered on a lot of these games. So if a player's not playing, you know what I'm saying, and you already invested and laid your bet down days in advance, weeks in advance, just for this particular game. Oh, I'm betting on this game. They gonna blow them out. And then all of a sudden, Kawhi, Paul George, they're not playing, or any player. I'm not even gonna just single out a couple players. Any player, or any best player on any team is not sitting out. You potentially take all that productivity out of the game. So you didn't study, did your homework on these games, all the metrics and the analytics, weeks, days in advance. Now all of a sudden, game day, you get the memo that these people not playing. You didn't already put your bet in. You didn't already invested a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So the betting also dictates a lot of this stuff too. I believe a lot of these players want to play. You know what I'm saying? But it's not conducive as far as the money wise. Everything is about money. Man, money is the motivating and the key factor around all of this stuff. Nobody really care about competition anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because we don't have Kobe to shed light on this. We already know what he would have said. Jordan, he's not saying nothing about this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people, past, future, present, they like absent on, you know, on speaking on a lot of the real stuff that's really going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you do speak on it, you get blackballed. You know what I'm saying? You get exiled. You get kicked out of the league. You feel me? So people need to come forward and speak up. You know what I'm saying, about this stuff. Like people who are actually close to the source in the league. You know what I'm saying? Come on and speak up on it, man. We wanna see good quality brand of basketball, bro. We don't want to see a game 130 to 131. Like that's not exciting because that lets me know that it's an all-star game. Y'all not, it's AAU, bro. Y'all not even playing defense. Y'all not even competing at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like they have to care a little bit more about, you know, the product that they're putting out every night. I know you're making a lot of money, but it's a lot of people getting disinterested too. But then you got a lot of new basketball heads, these young people who
Yeah.
are, you know, they gravitate to it because it's exciting. You know what I'm saying? But I was excited to see a game that was 75, 60 something. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was exciting for me. You feel me?
That's how you know defense is being played. That's how you can tell defense is being played when the score is low. If the score
Right.
is too high, you're not playing no defense. And like you said with AAU, and my little brother played AAU ball. That kept throughout the summer they playing games every weekend, breaking their body down. But then at the same
Right.
token, they're not teaching these kids how to play. They teaching them how to get highlights. They teaching them how to get like exposure, which is good, but they're not teaching them the fundamentals. And you see in the NBA, a lot of these dudes' IQ is not that high. They don't know how to actually guard on the perimeter. They don't know how to actually do a simple V cut, simple L cut, simple backdoor cut. They don't know how to run play. I'm like, the IQ is at an all-time low right now. And I think that AAU basketball shit is a big, big reason why.
Not to really kill your argument, Elise, but you know that three of the top 5 high scoring games were like 80s. Like there was a Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons. There was like 180 something, 184, 186.
You said 184 and 186?
Yeah.
Hold on. What are you saying? I'm confused.
You said you don't want to see high scoring games like the 180s, 180, 170, 170 something.
And you're saying that what?
You're saying you want to see 70s, 60s. I want to see defense too, but I don't want to see not scoring. I
Oh
want to see scoring.
no. I was just making a point. We don't want it that low, but we do want them to compete. We want the stars to play defense. So
When Detroit with the Billups and the Richard Hamilton, where they could not score, those games were boring to me too. Detroit, New Jersey Nets, and San Antonio Spurs in the finals. I mean, they were good teams, but some of the finals were boring. Not as boring as this year, last year finals. They were boring.
yeah, I agree with you. I didn't really watch those finals because nobody. I didn't like Tim Duncan and them. All that basic fundamental. I didn't. It was nothing about them. Like, you didn't get excited. They didn't really make any highlight plays. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I didn't watch those finals. I don't remember any of those plays. I only watched first game, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching that.
right. But nobody wanted to watch Detroit and San Antonio, bro. Really? Come on now.
Yeah, that was terrible. I think because I think one of them games like ended like 70, what was it 78-75 or something like that?
It was
Yeah,
that
it
was
was.
treacherous, bro.
Yeah. I think Ori hit the last shot in that
Yeah.
game in Detroit. So,
I respect the defense though, but they wasn't as exciting. Like they didn't make any highlight plays. I can see if it was you know what I'm saying, you kind of got the entertainment, but it was just dry. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was straight fundamental. That's it.
you know the
I'm
game.
like,
You know the game that actually played defense, but the offense was just damn good was that Clippers Sacramento game. Like them dudes was playing defense, but guys were just making shots down the stretch,
yeah,
bro.
awesome.
They played defense in that game.
Yeah.
So, but what you got to piggyback off that, Rick?
I mean, not much more, man. I mean, everybody's making good points. I'm just gonna stick to what I'm saying. I think when it comes down to, and BJ, you already called this out, it's more so of the relationships between the owners, the coaches and the players. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, despite what we see from our angle as fans, as people who watch the sport, really it's the coaches and the owners that know these players the best, right? They talk to them, they see them every day, they know where they're at mentally, spiritually, physically, they know all these things. So it's really up to them to either protect the player when things are looking, from on the outside looking in, we may be opinionating or looking at things a certain way, but the coaches and them owners know, like, yeah, this, the brother, sister died, or the father died, or we don't know what's going on personally. So it's like, it's up to them as their management to be like, hey, don't worry about what the media talking about. We got you. Or it's up to them to say, hey, we know you full of crap. You be partying. We told you to be here at this time. You're not showing up to practices. We already got a trade package ready for you. Like, you don't want to be here. So it's really, I like that it's up to them. You know what I mean? And they gonna have to just know their players, man.
So, um, this new policy, is there some teams that it's gonna affect most, or is there something it doesn't bother to them? Because I think the Nets, I don't think it's gonna affect the Nets. I think some of the players want to play every game, but I mean, are there something it's gonna affect? It's gonna be troublesome for.
I think it's gonna affect the teams. Like the Clippers is a good example because, like I said, we know Kawhi, he has bad knees. We know PG, if he gets hurt, he has to watch himself. So it may affect teams that are injury prone. But again, it still goes back to the foundation of it. If I know as an owner or a coach that, hey, this guy really has this going on, or this happened over here, that's where they just step up and protect their players, right? That's where they just say, hey, we had dished that money out. Because again, I know I'm going to, like Elise said, I know I'm going to make it back once they're 100% or close to it, once they're ready to play. I'm going to make all that back. It's no big deal. But now, again, if you, like I said, you as an owner, you know who those players are. If they not coming ready to play, if they are getting out of shape, they partying, they doing this, they doing, they not focused on winning. That's where as an owner you got to start making decisions. But I think teams that it's going to affect the most are probably the more injury prone teams. right? But again, the owner and the coach is gonna have to be like, hey, we're gonna stand up for these guys, or we're not gonna stand up for these guys.
You know what's funny? You know something I just realized, because Westbrook, he made an All NBA team in 2020. So if this rule was effective last year, then Westbrook would be considered an All NBA player. So that would be another player can't sit out. But then again, with him, he doesn't sit out really. So I don't think it really would apply to him. I find it so crazy how that dude plays that hard and can play that many games, bro. That is an anomaly. That's an anomaly right there. This cat going 1,000,000 miles per hour, never had no major injury. I think outside of OKC 1 year. Other than that, he's been playing. He's always playing.
Facts, and that's why I got so much respect for Russell Westbrook, and Kobe recognized it too. He said he loved that guy, man. When you get the ultimate praise, bro, from the greatest players to ever do it, bro, then you know you're doing something right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook has been playing one speed, and at times to a detriment, you know what I'm saying, of the success of his team. But to give it that much effort for as long as he's done it on both ends of the court, bro, like that needs to be praised. And that's what I respect. I wish everybody had that type of mentality. You don't really see him resting plays. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But you know,
yeah.
With the amount of threes that been shooting, why are players getting hurt that much? Because they don't really, they just go sit at 3-point line and shooting threes. How they get hurt so much?
that's a great point.
They
Mm,
like I said, it's I think it's mentality, but I think it's also these players, to me, I don't think they really lift weights either, like how they used to. Like lifting weights really is like a body maintenance. Like that really helps preserve your body when you lift. It's like going to the gym every day. Like if you go to the gym, you feel better throughout your day. If you miss a day or miss 2 days or miss, like, you start slacking off, you start feeling weak. I think a lot of these players really don't practice enough. These teams don't practice enough, and I don't think they actually lift actually real weights.
they don't work out at all. You
So their personal
remember when
trainers
this
should be
man was
fired.
coming back from his injury? Real quick, Bruce. Remember when Jamal Murray was coming back from his injury? He's rehabbing his torn ACL the previous year. I think it was like last year.
Yeah.
I seen the motherfucker on the bench drinking a Diet Pepsi. Nigga, what the fuck? You're rehabbing and you drinking a Diet Pepsi, which is worse than drinking a regular Pepsi. Like, that just lets me know, you know what I'm saying, that y'all don't really care about y'all body and y'all physical fitness, bro. Like, the foods and shit that we're eating is breaking these players down. Even even go when they do a McDonald's commercial, I'm pretty sure they eat McDonald's. A lot of them say we got personal chefs and all of this shit, but it will show. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these motherfuckers just don't really care about physical fitness, bro. Like, they don't give a fuck about their bodies. They be like, oh, I'm an athlete. I'm naturally gifted with this. All I got to do is go to practice a couple days a week, and I'm going to be good for the games. You know what I'm saying? But, bruh, a lot of them players are the ones who ain't playing no motherfucking defense. The ones who keep their body in check, bro, are the ones who give effort on both ends, bro.
Yes.
Outside of LeBron.
Yes.
I mean, the old players used to do that too. Charles Barkley, Derek Coleman. You know, they used to eat.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, but Moses Malone and Dr. J told Chuck, he say, you got to get your ass in shape, bro. Because Charles Barkley came into the league like overweight. But once he leaned out, bro, and you start seeing that man go, once he got like in shape and got his body right, Charles Barkley, he was a dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? A one-on-one fast break. You want to talk about LeBron and Giannis. When Charles Barkley get that motherfucking transition, bro, it was a wrap.
He was already good, though.
He already had like the talent and the skill, but I mean, it was a lot of shit that limited him because of his body and his weight. Just like on Draymond, it's a lot of shit that limited him from him, you know what I'm saying, being more explosive because of his weight when he first came in. But when he leaned down and got his weight together, you seen he was able to do a little bit more, showcase his skill set a little bit more.
Yeah, he can punch better.
I don't know about that.
About the
Dog.
same thing both ways.
Yeah. Y'all making good points, man. Y'all smash that like button. It's a great live right here. Y'all smash that like button, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Cash App as well. I'm gonna ask y'all something else. I'm gonna ask y'all another question. I'm gonna start with Mingle because he came in first. Which team you feel like is gonna be the most affected by this rule, or do you think any at all?
Well, I mean, I guess it just depends. I mean, like, it depends. Maybe I would say the Lakers only because Anthony Davis injury history, and LeBron is about to be 40. So I probably lean towards the Lakers, but I don't know because a lot of these guys be missing a lot of games. I can't just say LeBron and AD. These guys really don't be playing games. KD miss a lot of time. Giannis starting to miss time. Like only person that play consistently like that is Jokic and Westbrook. The rest of these guys, they miss a lot. Dame Lillard missed a lot of time. Like these guys miss a lot. Bradley Beal just came back from injury. Like these guys miss a lot of time. So I can't really just pinpoint one specific team. But being that LeBron age, I probably would say the Lakers only because of LeBron age.
Okay. What about you, E?
Shit, I hate to say it, but the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Warriors, those are the oldest teams in the league. They got the most veterans, like, you know what I'm saying? So, just to be honest, and we got to look at the history, like, you know what I'm saying? Steph only played about 55 games last year. So if we look at it across the board, you're adding an older fucking Chris Paul who's injury prone to the fold. You about to go get a Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard's in shape, so I'm not really worried about that. You got a Klay Thompson who's lightweight, injury prone, so shit. And then with the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, you know what I'm saying? That situation. And then LeBron and AD. So just to be honest, like the teams that got the older veterans but are still like considered like the best players in the NBA, I would say those teams. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Warriors, Clippers, Lakers. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it plays out, man. I be needing to see stuff before I can just believe something that somebody says. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you tell me something but you move differently than what you said, I can't trust, you know what I'm saying, that it's valid. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I need to see shit, like, in real time. Like, I'm pretty sure that all of us are like that. Like, but we get caught up and so in love with the shit that people say. But I was like, man, I don't believe nothing till I see it, period.
Right. And I forgot Phoenix. Phoenix is injured too.
Yeah, Phoenix, but how old is Bradley Beal though, BJ? I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I didn't want to say Phoenix because I know Devin Booker's still young, and then but you know, KD and Bradley Beal. How old is Bradley Beal?
Brad, I think he 30. He 30. Yeah, he 30 years old. But that nigga injury prone too.
Yeah, all the time that nigga didn't miss, man. Oh, that nigga need to be on the court. Period.
Yeah. What about you, Bruce?
All the team where the weather is good, the weather is warm, hot. The California team, Miami, Phoenix. You got Miami with Jimmy Butler, injury prone in the season, and then the playoff. Warriors, you got Chris Paul, you know, Klay Thompson. Because of his injuries, they don't like to play him like back to back. You know, KD is injury prone, but he's a sneaky for the media. He's like the phantom injury prone. They don't see that. Bradley Beal, like you guys said. The California team, the other two California teams, Lakers and Clippers. LeBron has been injury prone the last couple of years, but they don't talk about that. AD is like the young injury prone.
Hey, y'all know what's weird though? The Dame, they talking about they open the Dame talks again with the trade talks to Miami. They say that, do y'all think that if Dame goes to Miami, y'all think that's gonna happen? What's y'all percentage of that happening? Because if they add him, he's been injury prone too. That's another injury prone player. So what's y'all chance y'all think Dame's gonna end up in Miami?
0.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I don't know, for the simple fact that I done seen stranger things happen in the NBA, so I'm gonna say I don't know. But I don't know if it was gonna happen, it would have been happen by now. I don't know. It's still up in the air for me.
It's not gonna happen because I think the Blazers are asking a lot from Miami, and Miami is cheap, so they're not gonna give. Pat Riley is sneaky. Okay, he's not gonna make a trade that in their disadvantage. They're not gonna give all their players for another player who's injury prone, with Jimmy Butler always hurt all the time. So Miami wants to win, and I don't think they.
What are they asking for?
Shit, Tyler Hero hurt too. It's like all these dudes. Damn. When you look across the league, man, more of the star players are hurt than not, or staying out more than not. Like the only people I see was Giannis and Tatum and Jokic. Those are the main three. And even Giannis played 64 games this past year.
Giannis has started to do load managing last year.
I'm telling you, bro, that 82 game season is a grind, man. I don't think niggas understand. Like that's like 2 college back-to-back seasons right there. And you got to factor in the playoffs.
But that 82 game season money is not a grind. So that's why they don't want the 60 games.
I think, me personally, if they was going to cut it down, I think 70, 72 is a good amount.
Yeah, they're going to play 40. They play 40.
Why they trying to cut it down now? Because of these soft players?
I'm just saying, if they did cut it down, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying if they did cut it down.
That's less money in the pockets of the players. Less money in the owners, less money in the pockets of players. There used to be less games in the first round in the playoff. It was the best of 5, and they went to best of 7 to make more money.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna cut it. Like the NFL just added 1 game. So it's all about making money.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
With the inflation going on, really? With the inflation going on right now, they're not gonna cut games.
I don't think they should. I think these guys get paid millions and millions of dollars. They should play. That's the only job you got, literally, is to play basketball. That's it.
That's what I said.
$60 million to play basketball. That's all you got to do.
You can give me 200. You can give me 100K, 200K right now, nigga, and I'll go out there, nigga, limping and everything, and play every game, bro. Back to backs and everything.
Yeah.
Do y'all watch the Big Three, bro? The Big Three, they compete. Them dudes is 100 years old out there competing. I know it's 3-on-3, but still, though. But it's big, though. That half court is big, bro. That half court is big, though.
No, man, no. I'd rather go to the YMCA, watch the Big Three.
I watch the Big Three.
The Big Three is solid, though. I don't know if y'all.
It is. It's decent. The Big Three real decent.
They don't get that. The NBA, the NBA is shutting them off, though. The NBA shuts their marketing, their promotion down.
Yeah, okay.
Of course they do, because that's a black person on it. Of course.
Yeah, but still, his business partner is white too, though. Like the main investor is Donald Trump's best friend. So
I do think
that's not really saying anything for me. Not to know what I'm saying.
Trump involved, they sure gonna cut him out.
Right.
She said, y'all got to think these players play a bunch of games before they came into the... Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think it's cool for... I don't think I think AAU is being too much. They're using that too much of a money grab. Let's go and play these kids all these games. not really teach him the game, and oh yeah, by the way, let's make him play every weekend. It's the human body for that age. You shouldn't be playing that many games. You should be doing more, regular pickup outside, learning your body, working out, getting your proper rest. And as you get into college and into the pros, then that's when you start heavily in the workload. That's something to me that's a better suited way of actually approaching the situation.
So we're gonna sit here and make all these excuses for millionaires. Now?
That's what I was
doing?
gonna say.
Bro, no, you didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said. I said the kids in AAU. This is what this Cam said. He's not talking about millionaire. I just said if you get into the NBA, that's when you heavy the workload. But kids playing that many games at a young age, it's a
part of the grind. It's a part of the grind.
No,
Mastering your craft. It's a part of the grind.
Not part of the grind, bro.
Yes,
they just
to get to the highest level. In order to get to the highest level, what you have to do.
They just implemented this rule, bro, recently. But when I grew up, you didn't play that many games. AAU, they heavying the workload because of the money they're making week by week. This was not part of the grind about 15, 20 years ago. It was not. It was not.
You know why it's happening, BJ? Because parents have been asking for money for their kids to get money. So this decided to make to the NIL stuff going on. So that's what happening. Parents and business, it became a business. It's not basketball anymore. It's a business.
Yeah,
basketball.
That's everything. Everything is business now. Nothing is about teaching the game. Nothing's about protecting them. Everything's about money, bro. That's what this world, just goes about with money.
It's not only in basketball. It's in every sport. I used to love watching soccer, or you guys call it soccer, but football. It's business now. It's not the same. It's not because I'm getting older that I'm saying it. You guys, when you get my age, you say the same thing too. And young people don't get.
What's up? What's up, man?
Y'all gotta think before these players even go to the college or the league, they playing like 5 games a day, 5 games a day in the AAU shit, bro. They playing a bunch of games on top of the workouts they doing.
Yeah,
they chose to do it, right?
That's a heavy load before going into college and the league.
Okay.
I'm not like Mingo Jester is like, okay, they can play 500 games. So that's fine because
listen, if you're trying to make it to the top of anything, it's not gonna be easy. This not toys for tots. They don't do it for fun. But see, the thing is, what I'm telling you is, when you're trying to make it to the highest level of something, you gonna work, regardless of what it is. Whether it's at your job, whether it's the NFL, NBA, and MLB, whatever. Anything you're trying to make it to the top of the music industry, anything you're gonna have to work for it. That's a part of it. That's how it goes.
Even when you're getting at your job, at the orientation, they're not giving you like heavy work. They give you light stuff. They're not giving you heavy work to start.
It depends on where you work at.
Really?
I mean, since you're a lawyer, they're gonna get, if you just start, they're gonna give you all the stuff that the other lawyers don't. They're gonna give it to you.
Cases or like the pet adoption or case.
Like the crazy cases. They're gonna give you all the stuff that they're gonna give you all the stuff that the top lawyers don't want. So all that's gonna be on you. You gotta work your way to where the other guys.
This dude said my 6-year-old plays 105 games during baseball season and went straight to basketball. And okay, listen, baseball is not an impactful sport. Baseball is not an impactful sport, dude, at all. So that's a bad example.
I'm sorry, my 6-year-old is not playing 105 games.
And then he's 6
years old. I don't know what he's talking about. But
6-year-old man, you don't like your 6-year-old man. You don't like your 6-year-old. Come on, man.
But look, let's use that. But here's the thing. Let's use that. Let's use that point though. He plays 105 games, right? But I think somebody said it. But he's 6 right now. So what happens when he's 22? He's been playing 105 games since the age of 6. Now he's 22, going into a pro league. that's wear and tear from 6 years old to 22. So I get both sides. Like I'm actually agreeing with both sides. I agree with BJ. I agree with Mingle. So at the end of the day, you go from 6 years old to age 22, you get into the league. Now you've been playing 105 games plus those seasons on top of that. Your body's already kind of burnt out. Yeah, you may be a little tough, but that's a lot of years of wear and tear. And what BJ was saying was, look, back in our time, even when we did AAU, it wasn't that many games. It wasn't that crazy. But now, like everybody's agreeing to, at least now it's more of a business thing. So now the parents are putting these kids on these different AAU teams all year, all day.
Yeah.
So by the time they hit the pros, it's like, yeah, they're more worn out than people like me and BJ's age. But at the same time, to agree with Mingle, but hey, that's what you worked hard for. So now you're at the top. Now you got to keep grinding. Now, again, for the topic of the show, with that being said, with agreeing with BJ, agreeing with Mingle, at the end of the day, with the new rule, this is where the owners and the management have to come in. Hey, we look at this guy's background. He works hard. He works at his craft, like Mingle is saying. He wants to be the best, but he got bad knees. He got bad ankles, whatever the case may be. We gonna stand up for him. We know his background. We know he's been grinding out since he was 6 years old. So we gonna protect this dude. We have promise in him. We see the potential. Or it goes to, we know this guy ain't nothing. We know he don't come to practice. He don't work hard. He don't show up on nothing on time. And that's where it all comes down to with this new rule. How well do you know this player? Do you know they want to win, or do you know they just bull crapping?
Man, Angelo is Joe Jackson.
Yeah, some
105 games.
dudes have it even harder to get into the league. So they playing more. They have to play more to just to try to make a name for themselves.
Bro, you don't have to
you're
play that.
destroying the mental health of the person. That's too much.
Exactly.
You have to let a kid be a kid.
Well, that's what we were saying, Bruce. That's the point I was making. You don't have to play that much basketball or football or sports period to make an impact. That's not working hard. That's just overdoing it. A kid still, if you like this dude said, your kid played from 105 games from age 6 to 22. You think he gonna have the same hunger, the same motivation to keep playing that shit when he gets into college and the pros? More times than not, his interest is gonna get away from the sports. He's gonna try to find another outlet. You gotta have a healthy balance between the two. And I'm looking at it like, why are so many of these guys now getting hurt more than what they were back 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Man, and that's Joe Jackson, man.
That's crazy as hell, bro. Trying to kill your kid.
You said, man, back in my day, we had to walk through the snow with a blizzard outside. I don't want to hear that.
Yo, dude really used the 6-year-old to a grown man.
Man, that dude capping too about that 6-year-old. He capping.
Man,
I don't know. Hey, he might be telling the truth. Shit. I don't know.
Come on, now, my 6-year-old, playing 105 games.
I don't know, but
crazy,
apparently
bro.
he is. I don't know.
That 6-year-old don't even understand that type. Man, come on.
Man, I
Be
hope he's
surprised.
doing well in school. That 6-year-old man.
That is child abuse, nigga. Child abuse, nigga. Straight up.
Bro, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
crazy,
man,
bro.
I just hope we have a healthy season. Everybody all the stars come in here because they're just really what we want to see. We want to see the stars healthy.
We want to see the stars healthy. We want to see the stars playing. And if they not playing, let us know in advance before we buy them tickets. Because tickets ain't cheap. Them tickets ain't cheap.
So BJ, tell Kawhi that, man, please. I'm not gonna go to LA and then he's not there. He's not playing.
I think they're gonna play this year.
Always bashing Kawhi, man.
I'm not bashing
Kawhi, always
Kawhi, bro.
Kawhi, bro.
Be careful. Because a lot of these guys, it ain't only Kawhi for me. A lot of these guys miss games, bro. When I say a lot of these guys miss a bunch of games, bro. They be missing a lot of games every season. Go and do the research. A lot of these guys, they miss but it ain't just Kawhi. A lot of these guys miss a bunch of games.
That was a joke.
Yeah, all these
bashing Kawhi.
My understanding, with y'all fans, bro, why do y'all get mad because these players are hurt?
Oh
or
my
injured.
God.
We're gonna say injured. Y'all, they got mad because Kawhi he got injured, my nigga. A serious injury. Like that's part of the game. That's gonna
Hey,
happen.
hey, you know what? You know what I think it is when it comes to Kawhi? I think is that because people know how great he is, they get frustrated he's not playing. But even with that, I mean, he can't control if something happens. You can't control a torn ACL. You can't control a torn meniscus. And I was even like upset when it first happened. I had to kind of sit back and be logical. I'm like, bro, this dude, you think he want to be on the bench, not playing? That dude wants to be out there hooping. He missed already a whole season. That I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Dude been hooping almost damn near his whole life, and you don't think he want to be out there? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, man, look, like I said, it's just gonna come down to the relationships between those owners, those coaches, and those players, right? And I think if they really implement this rule and they really stick to it, I kind of agree with Eleazy. There's always an exception to the rule. There's always a way to get around stuff. But if they really stick to it, that's where these coaches and these owners are going to have to just know their players, because BJ made a good point with Zion Williamson. It's like, look, we know he stayed hurt. We know he'll be out for a part of the season, but it's like I responded to him. At the end of the day, if I know when he makes a big difference on his team when he's at his best, I'm gonna pay that money. I ain't bothered by it because I'm gonna make that money back. So that's just what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's a good man. All y'all make great points, man. Everybody making good points with this. Anybody want to add something else before we end the show? Cam, Bruce, Mingle, anybody?
Don't play your kids 105 games. 6-year-old. Man, I would hate my parents if they did that to me when I was 6. Angelo, man, look at what Joe Jackson did to Michael Jackson. So
Right.
that's what I'm gonna say.
But then what Michael Jackson became though, one of the
Is
greatest
Michael Jackson still
performers
here?
of all time.
Is
Literally.
Michael Jackson still here?
That's a whole nother different thing.
Okay.
That ain't got nothing to do with it because he became one of the
Bruce,
greatest
right.
performers ever. What does that have to do with anything? That's a whole different discussion.
I mean, the way that Joe Jackson raised him was not part of the way why he was like that.
I mean, I don't know. I ain't know Michael Jackson personally. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All I'm saying is,
hey, Angelo Bell said drop the link. We getting on that 105.
Oh, here we go.
There
you go.
You want to say something?
That's a lot of games for a 6-year-old, man. I'm just saying. My goodness, what is happening?
Mr. Bell, just know I had your side too. So, fire
All
anybody.
right, here you go. Here comes Joe.
Yo, Bruce, he coming for you.
You talking about here comes Joe. Well, that is funny.
Yeah. He's probably at the baseball game right now. He's your child.
Really?
Yeah, man. Bruce is wild.
He is. Bruce is very wild.
Yeah, man.
Bruce
So I dropped the link.
I am the law.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to the person.
I know y'all had already talked about it, but the Pelicans, they're another team they got to stay healthy. They're another team that got to stay healthy.
That's why I asked about them. I asked about because Brandon Ingram, he another one. That nigga played like, I think, what he play like 30, 40 games this year? Like something like that.
He missed a ton of games this past season.
Man, less game than that 6-year-old, man. Dang.
You say you can't get in. I'm gonna drop it again. Try in the link again, Angelo. Should be able to get in.
But at least going into the season, from the looks of it, it seems like everybody's gonna be healthy. So that's a good start.
Yeah, that's how it be. They start the season strong, and then like by December, players are already getting hurt. I don't think, like I said, I think part of it is because they don't take care, like they're not putting enough time in the weight room. Because I think if you lifted weights, and Rick, he can probably know better than anybody. Like when you lift weights, is it like more body maintenance, like for you to prevent injuries?
So what I will say, yes, it does, and that's what I'm doing with Malik right now, your younger brother, bro. Like I noticed he was telling me some of his flaws in the game, right? Like his speed, all that. And he even told me just within the past 3 weeks of training. Well, I mean, training with him 7, 8 weeks now, but in the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks, bro, he said he don't even like he could keep going. Like even when he gets tired, he could keep pushing through. So I've made a real big point to strengthen his body. You know, I saw a lot of his weaknesses that he was telling me was due to him not really lifting weights, not getting that body strong. So when we start implementing those weights, even when I play him one-on-one now, I mean, it's like I'm playing a grown man. Like he be bodying me now. He runs into me. So I'll be throwing my whole 210 pounds on him and he just be eating through it. So yeah, weights make a big difference, bro. It keeps you strong.
Yeah, for sure. Angelo, what's good, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's happening? What's happening?
Not much. Hey, that 105 games is spread it out throughout the summer season. So it's not really like they playing them back to back. They got that, then plus they got the playoff games. So by the time they get done with the playoffs, it's the first week of August. And I give him a rest time. So all I got 4 sons. 3 unplayed. So he get that 3 week of rest before I send him to football. It's not like everything is back to back.
Is that your son picture right now after playing the 105 games?
Bro, really, Bruce, come on, man.
Well,
I mean,
you know what I'm
he
saying? I
is
mean,
young though. Like,
Can I
you
ask a
know,
question though? Let me ask a question. So, because you say your son is 6, right? And
they got a 9 and an 8 too, and a 4.
okay, so
My-
you kind of when you hear like certain parents who put their kids in sports and they have them play all throughout the age 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, like 'cause I went through it. Mentally, if you're doing that for so long and that's all you do, it can either go you're gonna be more motivated when you get to that college pro level, or you're gonna be dismotivated. So, is that something that you planned on doing for like, before they start getting into sports? I'm gonna have them play as much as they need to play, or do you think that came with just how the business is in baseball or football? Like you have to play this amount to get real exposure and get real looks.
well, it comes with it comes with the territory. Everything done changed. Like everything now is like it's about money. It's about money and business now. But I don't look at it like that. I try to separate them from that. Is that what you're saying? Like I never intended them. They want to play them sports like that. Cause
Okay.
I
I
coach
got you.
too. I
Okay.
coach too, so they've been around it, so they want to play them.
Okay. Okay.
I
Got
never,
you.
I was cool with just them being regular kids and just being, going to school and being students. But they grew up around it, so signed them up and play them. They want to play them. Like, but
Okay.
I said, I let them still be kids. I try to have time where to separate them from, sports all the time and to be, regular kids. Like, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think exactly that's what BJ was asking. And you know, from a father to a father, that was the question I was going to ask you. Is it more so because you know my son's 11? I know you said you got 4 of them. So the 6-year-old we're primarily speaking on. Basically, the 6-year-old he wants to do this. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, he wants to.
Okay, so
But
yeah,
I'm
I'm cool with that. And you're basically just supporting your child, which I'm all down for. Like I said, from a dad to a dad. But I think more so, I think before you hopped up here, I think the consensus was it's like, man, you just got your kid playing that many games. And BJ was more so talking off the point of you're putting him in this, and he probably doesn't really feel like playing that many games. But if he wants to play that many games, then I'm all down for that. That means he has a passion for it.
Yeah, like he caught a ground ball. He caught a bad hop ball to the eye. He got like 8 stitches at the top, 8 at the bottom. He cried. He didn't cry because he was injured. He cried because he was gonna miss 5 games. You know, so I'm like, bruh, you know, chill out. You just took a ball to the eye. You gotta chill out a little bit. But he was like, he was like, Dad, you know, it's getting ready to be, you know, I'm gonna miss the first round of the playoffs. Well, it was the regionals. They play like 5. So I missed the first regionals. I said, man, chill out and let your eye rest a little bit. You'll be all right. You will be there when the real playoffs start. So, you know, he's kind of like, he cried more because he was going to miss games than more about his eye.
Now, watch this. Now, this is a good talking point because now that type of mentality that Elise was talking about, his son's mentality, if I'm a coach or an owner and he's mad or upset or crying because he's going to miss the playoffs, I'm going to pay money for a person like that. You see what that's where I'm getting with it. It's like, we know he's going to work hard. He wants to work at his craft. You know what I'm saying? Like Mingle was saying, like, yeah, that's the grind. He obviously loves the sport, so he's putting his body on the line. Like I said, he has a good father. We don't see too many of them, so I'm glad you hopped up here. Has a good father and family system that supports him. So when you are a coach or an owner of a team and you see that, that's what I mean, that relationship. Like, yo, hey, let your eye heal up. Don't worry about the media. We'll take the L's on that. We'll pay for you because we see that you want to play. We see that. So that's what I mean. I don't think an owner or a coach is really going to care about players like that. So if you're really injured, if you're really going through something, I think that new rule is not going to affect teams like that, but players like that, it's not a big deal. You know, like I said, I'm going to make that money back when they're 100% because we either going to get to the finals or the conference. Like, we're going to go far into the playoffs. But when you a player who has all these games and you just like, oh, I got a tummy ache or my toe hurt, and you don't even show up to practice, that's when you're gonna start seeing people like, all right, trade package, let's get 4-5, let's ease this money up so we get some players in here that really want to play ball, that really want to go play in these playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's where I think the breakdown is gonna happen. But that's up to the owners of the owners and players. So I appreciate you jumping up here, Angelo, man, and breaking that down and giving us context for real. Salute.
Yeah,
I thank y'all, man. I thank y'all. I like what y'all do. I be listening sometime when, you know, I got a little break, so I be listening to y'all show, and y'all have some great topics and stuff, man. So I appreciate y'all.
Hey, your support. Appreciate that, man. For sure.
All right. Thank y'all so much for having me up here.
All right, sir. Good luck to you, man.
I think that was more clarity. I think that was good because I took it as he was doing it because he wanted to do it, but when he said his son wanted to do it, I'm like, okay, no, I can't say nothing. And I don't have kids, so it's only so much I could say. I can't speak from what Rick, because I don't have children yet. Or yeah,
I can't say anything. I'm standing down. I'm not gonna call him Joe Jackson anymore.
You got a lot of kids.
Rick Bruce stupid.
It's a lot of kids that actually do love the game.
Yeah, when I was sick, bro, I always wanted to play 7, 8, little league, AU. I always wanted to play. It's when I got older. It's when I got like in college and pro. I was like, damn, my body's. I'm still want to play, but
Body shutting
I
down.
understood rest days. I understood like, yo, I need to get a couple of days off here and there, man. Cause yeah, I've been doing this for so long. But yeah, man. Any last points before y'all? Cam, did you ever play ball? Cause you on here quite. Did you ever hoop?
Yeah, I played. Yeah.
What did you play? High school, college? What'd you play?
Play high school.
Okay. I always wanted to ask you because I could tell when somebody knows ball, so I had to ask you that. So, all right, fellas. Well, we're gonna have to shut it down. We've been off about 1:45, so we're gonna have to definitely shut it down.
All right, guys, take care of yourself, your family. Have a great
Hey,
weekend.
Bruce, same to you, brother.
All right,
All right.
I'm gonna listen to some Michael Jackson now. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. Yo, hey, no problem, Angelo. No problem, man. Thank you for coming up here and sharing, putting context on it. Because, like I said, and again, like what Mr. Bell just did, everybody in the chat, that's what we be saying when we say hop in the pep, hop up here. Because we only know so much, especially we never talked to you before. Like if Bruce never hops up here, we know Bruce personally. We know how he is. So we know his context behind stuff. But like, I don't think Angelo, that was my first time seeing Angelo, at least me when I'm up here.
Me too. Me too.
So it's one of those things where we only can grab so much based off of what you're saying in the chat. So we really appreciate you jumping up here and giving us context, because once he did that, everybody has a better understanding of what he means. So yeah, I totally agree with him, especially on the father side. When my son, I want him to play basketball really bad, but he likes football, or AKA soccer, right? He loves soccer. I don't know nothing about soccer, but as a father, I support him. I get him around my friends who love soccer, who coach soccer, because I know nothing of the sport that well, but I support him. So, like I said, from a father to a father, that's big ups to you, man. You saw the passion in your child early, and you're getting him on the right track. So, I mean, doing a wonderful job, and I love seeing that from dads, man. I can't praise that enough.
Yeah, man. Like I said, come up to the panel if y'all got some. Come. That's why I say stop, because I know people watching want to come up here. Y'all got some stuff y'all want to. We invite everybody that has disagreements or whatever onto the panel. Not gonna remove you. Not gonna kick you off the show. Nothing. Like, free to say what you need to say. Y'all come up sometime, man. But let's go ahead and end it right here, bro. And yeah, let's get the people out.
Man, y'all already know what time it is. It's your co-host that does it the most, at Rick Masters 23 or Mr. Lee on IG, man. Y'all can look me up. But again, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast merchandise. You see BJ with the lovely all-white sweater on right now, man. I got an all-black one, and I got in the washer, of course. We got the shirts, we got the hoodies, we got the sweaters, man. Hit up me and B Jizz on our DMs, man. We'll tell you where to send the money. We'll send it to your address. You know what I mean? Good, comfortable products, man. Like I said, that sweater I wear keeps me warm in that cold office I work in. So the material's top notch. Yo, man. Also, we got the loyalty badge. We got the Clippers badge. We got the interview badge. Hey, if y'all want to talk to some of these legends and superstars and journalists that we bring up here, make sure y'all get that interview badge. If y'all love Clipper talk, make sure y'all get that Clipper badge. And if y'all just love the show and want to make sure y'all are inside of these monthly ending contests that we have, make sure y'all get that loyalty badge. Just remember, the higher the tier of badge, you get the other perks of the lower badges. So just keep that in mind. And we also give you a shout out, man. As you can see the ticker down below, these are the members right now. We got Andre, Bruce, David, Hope, OC Love, Rhonda, myself, Tay, Thomas, Talented, and Tune In Sports, man. So we like to see more names supporting the show. But hey, B Jizzle, I'm gonna throw the assist back to you.
Like we said, man, make sure y'all become membership badges. We got a lot of people that come on here on a frequent basis. Get y'all membership badges that are available as well. Hit the like button. We have our monthly contest next weekend, I believe, where we have, certain shows that we get able to give out free prizes, money, merchandise, this, that, and the other. So do not miss that opportunity. We're going into month 3 right now. So make sure you guys get your membership badges so you do not miss out what we have in store. Hit me up on my email, bjmatthews3@gmail.com if you guys have any questions to get those membership badges. And we got a lot of great content for y'all down the line. But until next time, respectfully say, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up, peace. Out of here like swimwear.
Oh man, my baby just said, I felt that in my soul.
Like that. Woo!
Yo,
We still live. I see the live ticker.
that's how we do. Yep.